Billie Eilish is going viral right now for calling out all the billionaires. Let's see what she had to say.
We're in a time right now where the world is really, really bad and really dark, and people need empathy
Wall
and
Street
help
Journal.
more than kind of ever, especially in our country. And I'd say if you have money, it would be great to use it for good things and maybe give it to some people that need it.
Okay. Doesn't seem
and
controversial.
Love you all, but there's a few people in here that have a lot more money than me. And if you're a billionaire, why are you a billionaire? No hate, but yeah, give your money away, shorty.
Okay, so Billie Eilish is basically saying, she's asking the fundamental question of that, should billionaires exist? Should you have so much money that you really can't spend it all like reasonably? Of course, you could buy 100 billion yachts and all this kind of stuff, but that's not really changing society. That's not really helping people who weren't able to have the luxuries and the privileges and the great situations that some of them were born into, or, you know, that were privileged to be a part of, to reach that class of being a billionaire. And I think it's a fair question to ask billionaires about, like, what do you bring to society other than capitalism? You know, because capitalism, there's a lot of like philosophical questions you have to ask about. Is it like manipulating labor? Are you really paying these people what they're worth? Should we go to socialism, communism, all these different ways of governing societies? And it's interesting to hear a music artist who, you know, in today's day and age, music is not as lucrative as it used to be. You know, Michael Jackson, Paul McCartney, these were billionaires based off their catalog and publishing things like this. But now musicians, if they want to reach that level of billionaire, they have to bring like actual products outside of music, like Rihanna with her makeup and Fenty, Kanye with his clothes, Jay-Z and Beyonce with their, you know, business adventures, business, you know, collaborations with different companies and things like this. So it's really hard for musicians to reach that status. Billie Eilish is a big pop star. I don't really know her net worth. I would assume it's maybe 10 or not 10 figures, like 10 million, 20 million, around there. So it's interesting to hear her call out billionaires because, you know, she's part of the top 0.1% too. So, you know, if she's not living by example, then I can't really say that she should be the right messenger. But then again, I don't know her charity works. I don't know if she's going out there giving money and doing all these things. In fact, the only time I really hear about Billie Eilish comments outside of her music is when she's calling out other people for, I guess, doing things that she doesn't agree with. Like, I remember, I think it was Travis Scott when the whole Astroworld Festival happened. Like, she called him out for not like, or no, she didn't call him out like directly. She did it subliminally at her own concert when there was somebody who needed water. She's like, unlike some people, I'll stop and, you know, make sure my fans are okay. So she's very open to giving her opinion, which I find interesting. But one thing I will say is that one rich person had something to say about this. Grant Cardone. I'm not too familiar about how he get his money, but I've heard the name before, of course. So he released a post on Instagram saying this: "Hey Queen, why are you a pop star? Oh yeah, because you created a unique product in the market, wanted to pay for you. You deserve it." Which is kind of funny because one of her songs kind of could be used to interpret that. Birds of a feather, we should stick together. You know, it's kind of funny that this billionaire guy is like saying, I gotta stand up for the billionaires. I gotta make sure we stick together and make sure the poor don't get any of our money because you're rich too. So I'm looking out for you. You know, you've been corrupted by the woke mindset. Whatever he seems like he's about to get into. But I don't think there's anything wrong with charity, helping out the poor. You know, I think billionaires should help out. Now, I'm not saying that they should help out so much that they become poor themselves or to like lose their money. I think if you deserve it, you should be able to reach those statuses. But I don't think you should, be able to hoard it over people. Like, for example, the oil tycoons. Are they really helping society? Like, what product do they make? They just own the land that owns the oil. So shouldn't that oil be given, and I don't want to say given for free, but like given at a really cheap price, or maybe even, help out their societies more rather than just building these grand buildings that really don't help anybody except, the people who are rich. So it's kind of like one of those things. But let's keep going to what he says. I have given or raised hundreds of millions for charities, and never after doing so did I call out those who had more than me in an attempt to shame them into giving theirs. I don't know how I feel about that. I think it's okay to call out people for, something that you do. Obviously there is a little bit of humbleness at play, but nah, I don't agree with, always being humble. But let's keep going. Some might suggest you should give all your concert tickets away, or how dare you charge $130 for a seat when you're already rich? You're worth a couple $100 million after all. Billie Eilish is worth a couple $100 million? I'm surprised by that. I did not know Billie Eilish got it like that. Okay, good shit. Where was I? Why not share that with your audience? Your gifts for free. You are playing New Orleans next week, one of the poorest parts of the USA, and your prices start at $150. While I'll add a disclaimer there, Billie Eilish doesn't set the price of the tickets. It's usually the touring company she signs with. If this is a Live Nation, then they set up the prices, because there's a lot of expenses that come to play, moving the equipment, going to renting out the stadiums or whatever she's venues and things like that. So that's not necessarily her fault for it being so high. Like back in the 70s and 80s, they were like $15, $20 for a concert ticket, but inflation and all these things have risen to concert tickets. And let's be honest, concerts are a luxury. So to say that she should make her product be affordable for the audience is like saying Mercedes should make their cars cheaper. Well, these cars and these products are luxuries. They're not necessities. What she's referring to the billionaires is to help out with more necessities. Stop buying real estate. Like I've heard this debate talked about, is that should industry, like companies and private owned, trust and funds and things like this, should they be able to buy real estate just so they can mark up the price of the value of the economy, of the real estate economy, and making it so unaffordable for average people to afford housing that it's just gonna pop. The inflation is gonna rise so high because nobody can afford it. It's crazy like that. I think that's kind of where she was going to, not rather than saying make iPhones cheaper. I don't think that's what she was focusing on. Why not share that with your audience? Go free. You were playing in New Orleans. Where was I? You have done great for yourself and you deserve it. Give as you choose and continue to set good examples by attempting to challenge why people have what they have and how they give never works. That's not necessarily true. I think there's plenty of times where looking at the bourgeoisie, the top of the society, and questioning, do they deserve to be there? Why are they there? I think that's a fair sentiment to put out into society and make people think. I think he's only saying this because he's at that type. And there's obviously conservatives and people who say you should pull your bootstraps by yourself and you should reach the economy, you should reach these heights by hard work and all these things. And nobody would ever refute that. Nobody says don't put in the work, let's just all be lazy and give me free everything, free government assistance and all these things. But some people need the help. It's fair to say. If she had said, why are you billionaires? You should give your money to veterans. Will he say that you should not give money to veterans who risk their lives protecting this country, that you're able to afford the luxuries and privileges that you are in this country? I am a descendant of an immigrant household. My family's not born and raised here. I'm first generation American. So I understand what it means to come to this country and really try to take advantage of all of its benefits. So that's something that I don't necessarily, disagree with. But at the same time, I could see where billionaires can, help a hand. You know, they could make society a lot easier because a lot of that money they're not even spending. Now, a lot of billionaires don't have the cash in hand. It's more just like owning stocks and things like this. But I think it's fair. I think it's fair for Billie Eilish to ask this question. And I actually applaud her for doing this. This is the type of things I love musicians talking about. I don't like the whole surface level kind of lifestyle, you know, riches and drugs and all these things all the time. Yeah, sure, in moments in time it's cool to talk about, but I like more of the revolutionary, changing way people think kind of mindset in music. And if she's gonna go down this path, then, you know, salute to her. So let me know what you guys think about Billie Eilish and the whole billionaires idea and all these things about why do billionaires exist, should they exist, all these things. Let me know in the comment section down below. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel.